Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of English Grammar with Max. Today we're going to talk about future, including will, be going to, and how to use present continuous for future. Okay, now let's start with will. Will has four main functions in English. 1. We use will to make a promise. For example, I'll return your car next week. And this is the contracted form of I will, apostrophe double L, I'll return your car next week. This is a promise we are making, and we use will to make a promise. Second function is offer. Example, the telephone rings and you say, "You don't move, I'll answer the phone." This is an offer you're making. Or for example, "I'll hold the door for you," or "I'll help you." I'll answer the phone. The third function of will is instant decision. Instant decision is a decision you make at the moment of speaking. Or while you're speaking. For example, you go to a supermarket and you are deciding which kind of milk to buy. You say, for example, "I'll take some soy milk." Or for example, you are buying some shirts, you have some options. You say, in the end you decide and say, "I'll take the blue shirt." Or for example, you go to the restaurant, you want to decide which item of the menu to choose, and you say, "I'll have some salad today." So we use will to express an instant decision. I'll write the example here. I'll have some salad. 4. We use will to make a prediction. We say, for example, "It'll" or "it will" "it'll rain tonight." In this case, sometimes we use some adverbs like probably or certainly or definitely with this use of will. For example, we could say it'll probably rain tonight, because when you are making a prediction you can never be sure that it's going to happen in the future. So sometimes we say it'll probably rain tonight. Now, when your sentence is a positive sentence, we use these adverbs after will. But let's take a look at another example with a negative sentence. We say, it certainly won't be the same. When your sentence is negative, when you're making for example, we could say when you're making a negative prediction for the future, and if you want to use one of these adverbs, we use them in the negative sentence before won't. But if your prediction sentence is a positive sentence, we use these after will. Now, let's talk about be going to. Be going to has two main functions in English. 1. To express plans and intentions. Plans and intentions, obviously, for the future. For example, we are the contracted form, we're going to visit Paris next month. In here, you're only informing about your plans and your intentions for the future. Another function, remember, after be going to, this is the conjugated form of be going to. After be going to, we always use the base form of the main verb. The same goes with will, because will is a modal verb, and with no exception, we always use the base form of the verb after all modal verbs, including will. Now, the second function of be going to is prediction. We say, for example, remember we also used will to make a prediction. I'm going to explain what is the difference between a prediction with will and a prediction with be going to. We say, for example, it is going to rain tonight. Now, let me write this very same example using will, because we also use will for prediction. We say, it'll rain tonight. Again, we are making two predictions, one using be going to plus main verb, another one using will plus main verb. So, in most cases, these two are interchangeable. It means it doesn't matter if you use be going to or will to make a prediction. But sometimes you need to be very careful, because there is a difference between these two types of predictions. When you use be going to make a prediction, it is mostly evidence-based. For example, we say, it's going to rain tonight. Look at the clouds. It means when you are making a prediction and you have some evidence implying that prediction in the future, we need to use be going to. But for example, you are predicting the result of a football match because you want your favorite team to win. So you say that, I know they will definitely win tomorrow. This is a prediction you are making not based on clear evidence, but based on your own desires, your own intentions. But when you have some evidence, it is more appropriate to use be going to make a prediction in the future, and will when there is no apparent evidence for your prediction. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, we talked about present continuous for arrangements or for fixed arrangements in the future. For example, we could say that I'm having a party next weekend. It means it's an arrangement in the future. It means you have arranged everything and you are ready to have the party. So what is the difference between be going to and present continuous for the future? So be going to and present continuous. There is a difference here. When you use be going to, you use it to express plans and intentions. But this one is for fixed arrangements. Again, sometimes it is possible to use one or the other one. There is little difference between these two sometimes, but mostly when you use be going to, it means that you're expressing a desire, you're expressing an intention or a plan for your future. So it means it is not necessarily fixed or arranged for the future. When you say I'm going to, or in the colloquial form when you say I'm gonna visit London next month, it means it might be just an intention. But when you say I'm visiting London next month, it means you have the ticket, you have your hotel reservation, and everything is in order. That is the difference between be going to and present continuous for the future. Now, the last point before we get to the exercises. we want to talk about shall. But very briefly, because shall is also a modal verb we use for the future. I'm going to explain only two functions of shall. And remember, these are not the only two functions of shall. So, one, we use shall with I and we in positive sentences and it means will, but very formal. Remember, in daily conversations, we cannot use shall instead of will because it's going to sound funny. I'm going to explain why. And remember, the subject of your sentence, remember these three things. When you use shall, it needs to be a positive sentence, and only with I and we as the subject of the sentence. And then, in that case, it means will. But they are not completely the same. Shall, when you use it in positive sentences with I and we, and it means will, but it's very formal. Actually, it is getting a bit old-fashioned, but it is still used in literature. For example, we say, I shall meet with the president. Shall in this sentence because your sentence is a positive sentence and your subject is I. So shall in here means will, but very formal. So again, it is not appropriate to use it in a daily conversation. And the second function of shall we are talking about today is, again, with I and we in questions. It means an offer or a suggestion. A very famous example is, shall we dance? Or for example, the room is too hot. You suggest you open the windows. You say, shall I open the window or the windows? But remember, this is not very formal anymore. You could use them whenever you want, when you're making an offer or a suggestion, something like this. But you need to remember that your subject, again, needs to be I or we, and it needs to be in the form of a question. Okay, let's start with some exercises. These exercises, again, are from the book Intermediate Language Practice. Let's begin. Okay, let's start with the exercises. The first one, underline the correct sentence, one or two, in each mini dialogue. Again, you can pause the video and write the answers. I'll start explaining them in a few seconds. Okay, let's begin. A or person A in the dialogue. Can you come dancing tomorrow night? The answer is B. Sorry, I'm playing basketball. We use present continuous in here because we are expressing an arrangement in the future. B. A. What are your plans for the summer? B. The correct answer is 2. I'm going to spend a month in the mountains. You're expressing an intention in here, so we use be going to. C. A. What do you think about the weather? The correct answer is B. 1. It'll probably rain tomorrow. We use will, and after that we use this adverb of probably because we are making a prediction. D. A. What about tomorrow about 5:30? B. 1. Okay, I'll see you then. This is a promise you are making, so that's why we use will. E. Mary is buying a dog next week. The correct answer is 2. Really? What is she going to call it? What is the intention of Mary in calling the dog or naming the dog? So we use be going to. F.
A. It would be nice to see you next week. B. Are you doing anything on Wednesday? It means, do you have any arrangements or fixed arrangements for this Wednesday? So we use present continuous for future. Next exercise. Complete the second sentence so that it has a similar meaning to the first one. Again, I recommend you pause the video, write the answers, and I'll start explaining them in a few seconds. Alright. A. My party is on Thursday. In here we are talking about an arrangement in the future, so we use present continuous. I'm having a party on Thursday. B. Tomorrow's weather forecast is for rain. The answer is it's going to rain tomorrow, because you already have it is in the answer, so be going to is the only option we have in here to make a prediction. C. I predict a victory for our team. I think our team will win, because in here there is no evidence, at least mentioned or specified or implied in the first sentence, so we use will to make this prediction. D. Tomorrow I'll be absent, Mrs. Jones. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, Mrs. Jones. Again, you are expressing an intention. E. Terry intends to paint the kitchen today. Terry is going to paint the kitchen today. An intention. In the future we use be going to. F. Meet me outside the station at 5:30. I'll meet you outside the station at 5:30. You're making a promise in here, so we use will. G. What's our arrangement for lunch? Where are we going for lunch? And H. I expect lots of tourism next summer. I think lots of tourists will visit next summer, or will come, or will arrive. The important thing is we use will, because we are making a prediction in here. And you need to remember, you don't always need to be able to tell which number of which function you are referring to of will, because as you might remember, we have 4 functions. I mentioned 4 functions for will today. You just need to know when you are using will, it's one of them. It is not necessarily required for you to know what number exactly it is that you are using, but it only needs to be one of them. Now, next exercise. Rewrite each sentence so it contains will or going to. Again, I'll give you some time to pause the video and write the answers, and I'll start explaining them in a few seconds. Alright, let's begin. A. I plan to study engineering in France. We could write, I'm going to study engineering in France, because we have the word plan in the original sentence. It is indicating that we need to be using be going to express an intention or a plan in the future. B. I've arranged a party for next Friday. I'm having a party next Friday. Again, we are talking about an arrangement in the future, so we use present continuous. C. I have an appointment with Max, so I can't come. I'm meeting Max, so I can't come. Again, you are talking about an arrangement in the future, so you can use present continuous with an action verb. D. Kelly is likely to get the job. You're making a prediction in here. Kelly will probably get the job. Again, we can use will plus probably to make a prediction when we are not sure about the results. E. Martin's wife is pregnant again. This is an interesting one, because we could say Martin's wife is expecting again. Expect in English, one of the definitions of expect in English as an action verb is expecting a baby or being pregnant. So you could say Martin's wife is expecting a baby again, or just is expecting. It means expecting a baby. F. Sarah doesn't plan to get married yet. This is talking about a plan, so we use be going to. Sarah's not going to get married yet. G. There is a possibility of snow tomorrow. We are making a prediction, and there is no evidence apparent in the sentence, so we use will. It will possibly, or it will possibly snow tomorrow, because we have possibility in the original sentence. And the last one, I predict a score of 3-0. You're making a prediction and you're not providing any evidence, so we use will. I think the score will be 3-0.
Okay everyone, thanks for watching another episode of English Grammar with Max. I hope you found it useful and helpful. If you did, please don't forget to like our videos and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section down below. Thank you. See you next time.